Hello and welcome to Restore 2023. This is an opportunity for us to be reading together the scriptures, to be growing in our understanding of God and to live for Him. Today we are reading from chapters 5 and 6 of the book of Esther. We have reached the climax of the book and we see God's hands of protection and provision over His people. Although God's and His name are never mentioned in the book. Esther did what she promised Mordecai in chapter 4 verses 16. She boldly determined to do what she could do in order that Haman's decree to destroy the Jews in Persia would be cancelled. Now, having asked her fellow Jews to fast for her and having prepared herself spiritually and physically to meet with a king, she is risking herself, her life, her role by walking to the entrance of the throne room and making herself visible. She had no way of knowing how much the king had drunk, what he was doing, what mood he was in that day. Esther was available to use her position and not sit back and hope for the best for everyone else. And this is to be admired. What we have in today's chapter is not only Esther's bravery and initiative, but also there is a contrast of Esther's wisdom versus Haman's folly. We notice afresh this manifestation of wisdom that is not just the action of the right time, so to take the initiative to go and approach the king, but also the imparting of the information at the appropriate time. And she finds a different way of dealing with this through banquets, because they were the norm in the Persian Empire. And actually, she is using this opportunity to intervene for the people and to request the king. And this invitation is extended to Haman. From the beginning of the book, it appears that this banquets serve to unmask the undercurrent of something deeper, like with Queen Vashti, then later on with Haman being against the Jews, and now in chapter 3, and now in chapter 5 and 6 against Mordecai. So Haman's wealth and social status was accepted by family, by friends, and other circles. And whether the respect towards him was demanded or natural, he was a very important man. And that recognition no doubt made him happy and in high spirits, until Mordecai challenged that by not observing the due respect. So it's not surprising to find Haman gathered around his family and friends together, like Mordecai and Esther did when they were in trouble and in crisis in chapter 4, because it's normal for people to gain confidence and courage from like-minded friends. Plus, actually, they can have good advice that will help them through trials. But it's not the case with Haman here, because Haman's wife and friends all agreed that Mordecai should be killed, and he should be publicly dishonored before everyone else in the city. And actually, this should be suggested to the banquet that he's having with the king tomorrow. So why is there a 2-day banquet for Esther to present her request to the king? Well, suspense, coincidences, or Godsidences, whatever you want to call them, and irony are the themes that summarize chapter 6. The narrator does not give us the explanation on why there is this postponement in Esther's requests to Ahasuerus. But remember the video that I did for chapters 1 and 2, I mentioned the fact that Mordecai's act to save the king's life was noted by the narrator, recorded in the chronicles, but not acknowledged by the king. Well, that was true initially, but now we see that the king's actions to honor and recognize Mordecai are real. And this is so crucial to the whole narrative, because it is this time when Mordecai saves the life of the king that is going to be acknowledged here. But also there is a big irony that is going to be exposed, because Haman's bragging obsession for his royal connections and promotions will be the tools for his own destruction. And after completing the unwelcome task of honoring his enemy, Haman rushes home full of grief and shame, still with another banquet in line for the next day.